So hello, it's day 3 and I'm checking in. Today I worked, I did 9.5 hours today. I worked 7:30 to 5:30. My MVPs today were sweet marjoram oil. I did this in my bath again because I actually walked 25,000 steps at work today. My lead RN for the site asked me to work distributing the vaccines, which basically means I ferry them from whoever runs them out from the mixing room to the floor to be distributed to the vaccinators to give out. And well, I got around 4 more miles. Well, 3 or 4 more miles than I normally do. In terms of steps, I was somewhere around 14 or 15K most of the time. My other MVP for today was this. So I actually do use this when I want to go to bed, but also at the beginning of the day. Today I got up really early, and I should also mention about 2 of those miles I had actually walked with my dogs already this morning because I woke up around 4 a.m. anxious and upset, and upset over all the drama and blah 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 blah. The noise. Everything at the moment is noise, and so I took my dogs out for a 2 mile walk this morning, which they enjoyed because rarely do I take them on long walks. But I was up and I was frustrated not being able to sleep, and I was frustrated with being upset and angry and feeling powerless, and so I did something rather than lay there and think about it. Also, my MVP today is this book. So this is my, I don't know, how do I want to call this? I mean, this is definitely self-learning, but this is also meditation because the very first line is really interesting. There's always an introduction to these books because these are translated from the original Roman, and God only knows how you might imply things in another language. So anyway, they always put an introduction in to kind of give you a feel for it. And the very first line in the introduction is a quote from Seneca. It says, "Your anger is a kind of madness because you set a high price on worthless things." And that has summed up a lot of how I've felt. I could spend a lot of energy on things. Do I choose to? Is it worth my time? And will it be worth the energy spent? So that's been something I've been thinking about. I very easily went through my gallon of water today. My juices, again, I was on day 4. So I had this morning natural electrolyte sodium shot, which is basically just celery and cucumber juice together. Antioxidant King, which is got a lot of beets in it, berries in it, and it's really good. And that was the one that I pointed out in my original video that just made so much. I mean, man, with the amount of energy I expended at work, I did go through it. And I was actually still kind of hungry afterwards. And that was actually more like a smoothie because it incorporated the berries. Then mineral medicine, which again was more cucumber and celery based. And that was also really good. There was some parsnip in there too, which, by the way, parsnip is pretty delicious when you juice it. I mean, I kind of have liked them roasted before, but never thought to juice them. It's not bad. And then another serving of the Antioxidant King. So I've gone through all that. I went through the gallon of water. Meditation. I did another bath because Epsom salts and the sweet marjoram oil are just so lovely to help you unravel a little bit when you are so tightly wound. And I will probably keep doing that. I've also wrote in my journal this morning because I was just, even after walking my dogs for 2 miles, I was just like, I feel like journaling is necessary, number one, to sort out those thoughts that trouble you and also weed them out in the same way. You know, once they're written down, you can stop committing to them, you know, in a way. You say what you say, you read it and you go, okay, that's how I felt. And then you can move on. So, yeah, that's a lot of my day. I'm going to post a picture of my steps log as well, just so you guys can kind of see how I spent my day. I got a lot of steps in. And actually, I'm going to put my legs up against the wall here in a minute for about a half an hour, just because they still kind of feel a little bit tight. Didn't have any problems with anything, no headaches, no unorthodox anger. I want to point out that Seneca is actually very apropos for this time period, because he comes at a time of great social change, and his ruler was initially very well liked and then very disliked by the Senate. May have been insane or may have been hugely maligned. Kind of the same thing, you know, with regard to Roman emperors. None of them really made a good end. You know, it's kind of like as soon as they started interfering with the Senate, they had to go. So, you know, keep an eye on politics, because Lord only knows how you could draw parallels with this one. But we haven't changed that much from the Romans in the regard that our politics are drastic, possibly when they don't need to be. So yeah, so he was under Caligula. Caligula reigned for 4 years, from the time he was 24 to the time he was 28. And he built a lot of things and he destroyed a lot of things. And he spent a lot of money and is reputed to have spent all of the money in the Roman bank, basically bankrupting, you know, the state, which may or may not be true, but you know, he did a lot of useless, pointless stuff, I think is probably a salient point. And also he killed a lot of people because he was worried about them killing him. And he's basically the emperor in Gladiator. So that's Caligula. Yeah, and it may be true, it may not be true. It may be that he just pissed a lot of the wrong people off, and so they wrote nasty things about him for, you know, it to follow him in perpetuity, that they thought he was a jackass. So, if this were actually true, if anyone could have something to say about how to deal with anger and, you know, it being a useless emotion that doesn't actually get you what you want, but lets you expend energy at your own expense, it would be Seneca. So anyway, yeah.